Hey guys, it's me, Dr. B, or you can call me Vanessa. If you're new here, welcome. This is my channel where I talk about books, everything book related, things that I'm reading, things that I'm hopeful to read. So a little backstory on me, I'm a psychologist who really loves reading and just really like to share my love of books. I also teach graduate students. The semester gets quite busy. I teach 3 classes in the fall on top of my full-time job. As you may have noticed, I'm starting to wear more flannel and plaid lately because I cannot wait for fall and just the end of summer and everything like that. Today's video, what we're going to be talking about is my September hopefuls. In September, I'm hoping to read a ton of books. I'm actually going to be going on a little family vacation to the beach, and that whole week I'm hoping to turn my work stuff off, have some time to really just dedicate to reading. I'll be on the beach all day pretty much, or if I'm inside the beach house, I will most likely be reading. Not sure of the house setup just yet, but I will have my own room. I share with my partner, but I'll have my own room and my own time to like kind of decompress and read. Okay, before we get into the books that I'm going to be taking down to the beach with me, I thought I could share with you the other books that I'm planning to read in the month of September, like the rest of the days. So there's like 30 days in September, but only 7 of them I'm going to be at the beach. So I thought that I would start out September reading a book that has been raved about as like a 5-star book, like people can't get enough of it, and that is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. And fun fact, if you didn't know, Christina Lauren is actually 2 people. This book switches back and forth between past and present. We have Macy and Elliot. They were childhood friends and then maybe kind of lost touch with each other, and then in the present day they are rekindling their relationship and most likely fall in love. And I really love the book cover. This is just super duper cute, like all of the colors, all of the little things. So we've got like books, which I love books. We've got candles and handwritten letters and some coffee and a little journal and a cabin. Like all of these things are just things that I enjoy. This is definitely a vibe. If there was a book cover that probably described me, it would maybe be this and The Confidence of Wildflowers. Just all the flowers and things like that. I tend to wear, of course I'm not wearing it now, but I tend to wear a lot of florals, and I just really love flowers. Even when I name my future child some flower name. My dog's name is Daisy, so but yeah, this is definitely a vibe. And since it's still gonna be summer technically in the first part of September, I do want to get some good summer reads in. So I picked out Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, and I really like this book cover. It's just super simple, but it sounds like what happens is the main character of this book, her name is Lena. Her mother died, and her mom's dying wish, again, not spoilers, it's on the back of the book, but her mom's dying wish was that she would get to know her father. So what Lena does is she goes to Italy, and she goes to this particular place in Italy called Tuscany. Fun fact, I've actually been there. But basically it sounds like more of like a coming of age story. This was in the young reader section at Barnes & Noble. There's also a movie that just came out on Netflix, I think in June, at the end of June. So I really want to read this book and then watch the movie. I really like comparing books and movies and seeing like which was better. But oftentimes I find that the books are better, but there have been some books lately that I found that the show is better. So for example, I recently read and watched The Hating Game. I also recently read The Summer I Turned Pretty series, and then I watched the first season, and I just felt like the books kind of fell flat in both of those cases, and the movie or the show was a lot better. They weren't like the best shows or movies ever, but like they were definitely a better depiction of the people in the books. Another book that I'm hoping to get to in September is Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. And this one is about Josh and Lauren are like newly married. Lauren is diagnosed with a terminal illness. I don't know what it is just yet. I'm just reading what's on the back of the book, the synopsis. And as Lauren's disease is progressing, she writes a love letter to Josh every month. And I'm assuming what happens probably is that when she dies, Josh is gonna get to read all of these letters that she's written over this time period. So I think, you know, he's gonna read them, and then he's gonna kind of understand like maybe what she's gone through, or at least kind of get closer to her maybe. Even though after she's died, learning about her and like who she was, probably falling more in love with her. But I've heard this is a really good book, so I'm excited to give this a shot. I put this up in my recent book haul, and I wanted to make it a point to make sure that I read it this month. But I talked about my Dark Vanessa, and I really wanted to read it because my name is in the book. And it's like purple and stuff, which is my favorite color, if you couldn't tell. Here's purple. But basically, it sounds like it switches between past and present, present being 2017, past being 2000. And there was some sort of relationship between Vanessa and her teacher when she was in high school. It sounds like there's some sort of trauma that she went through, maybe like a discovering herself, maybe progressing through, working through her trauma, figuring things out, kind of growing up. So definitely a read that I am super excited to get into. Next up, I wanted to add a little bit of diversity to my book list. I picked up this book from Target. This is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed, and it is apparently about a young woman who is a nanny to a child. The main character of the book, I believe, is a Black woman, and then the child is a white individual. And so it really just kind of maybe give you some perspective of the things that the main character is going through because she's Black, and how maybe society treats her. So again, just wanted to add a little bit of diversity and kind of open up or broaden my horizons a little bit, get the perspective from someone. And I really do appreciate learning from other individuals. And I believe, so I just checked the back of the book, and I can't tell because the picture's black and white, but there is a picture of the artist, of the author on the back, and I believe she may be a Black woman. If not, she's probably mixed. But I really love reading books by people who are not white, just because you get this, you know, different perspective. I love seeing like people of color in books, and again, like just really broadening my horizon. And the last non-beach read book, or book that I'm gonna take with me to the beach that I want to read in September, is The Inheritance Games. So this is the first book in the series. I actually waited to get the second book, which is called The Hawthorne Legacy. And then I believe the final book is called The Final Gambit, and that just came out. I waited for the second book to come out in paperback, and that just came out in the beginning of August, I believe. But I wanted to wait for the third book to come out in paperback because I cannot do a set where we have like one paperback and then a hardback. Like I'm not down with that. I like all the sets to be the same. So this one is about Avery. This billionaire named Tobias Hawthorne dies, leaves a bunch of money to the 4 Hawthorne grandchildren, and basically I think what they have to do is like a bunch of riddles and puzzles and things like that to get to the grandfather's money. And then it sounds like Avery, the girl of the book, is a con woman. One of the heirs, so Grayson, he is determined to take her down, is what it says. Sounds like there's a lot of puzzles and riddles and things like that, which I really like. Another thing about me is that I really like puzzles. So this one is a book that I'm super excited to get into as well. The books that I want to take down to the beach, a lot of them I picked because they were either short reads or they had some kind of summery, beachy theme to them. I will be at the beach and it'll still be summer, so I really just want to make sure that I am reading as much as I can when I'm at the beach. So I'll start with the small books that I picked out that I think I can get to within a relatively quick time frame if I'm just sitting on the beach for a couple of hours. And the first book that I'd really like to get to is Daisy Jones and the Six. There is a movie coming out, and I really like Taylor Jenkins Reid and her writing style and things like that. So this is set in the 1960s, follows Daisy. Again, my dog's name is Daisy, so I I really kind of gravitate towards books with Daisy in them. It says Daisy's a girl coming of age in the late 1960s, and apparently she's got a band called The Six. They're getting noticed at this time frame. Daisy's voice is she's like a singer of some sort, and she's getting noticed. So it sounds like this is kind of maybe a clash of these two people. They're kind of following the band and maybe their success and all that. So don't really know too much about it, but I'm hearing that, you know, there's a movie coming out and I want to watch the movie when it does come out. So we got to read the book first. I picked up In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle, and I really just kind of gravitated toward this cover because it's, if you can't see, it's actually like gold. This little bridge here is gold, and it's a super short read. I think I can get through it really quickly on the beach. Don't know too much about it, but it sounds like something happens in 5 years. But again, it's a short read. And I wanted to tackle my TBR list before school kicks up again and just get through a bunch of stuff while I'm on vacation. And what better time to do that when I'm at the beach? This book I picked up just because it has summer in it, and I've been seeing it all over Book Talk and YouTubers recommending it. But this is Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and this is another book that I don't really know a lot about, but I want to see what all the hype is about, so really just picked it up on a Target run, impulse buy. One book that was on my TBR for July that I just didn't get to, I kind of got sidetracked by reading 2 series, and then I got some library books that I didn't completely finish them all, so I returned those and then just got into some other stuff. Didn't totally stick to my TBR, but I'm hoping to this month. So I picked up the Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. So I've got a couple of Christina Lauren books this month. What happens is there's this like big wedding and everybody eats like something that gets them sick at the rehearsal dinner, I think. And everybody except for 2 people, the 2 people of this book, and the bride and groom end up saying like, well, hey, we have this honeymoon that we can't go on now because we're sick. Do you want to take it? And so the 2 go, and I guess we're gonna follow their travels and things like that. So this cover is also a vibe. I really love the flowers, the toucan, like it just gives me these tropical beachy vibes, and I'm just really looking forward to reading it. Again, it's a little bit thicker. I would say this will probably take me about a day to get through if I'm like constantly reading, but who knows? I'm just gonna kind of bring all these books and see what I can get through. So the last book I'm only bringing, and I don't think I'll get to it. I'm okay if this gets shoved onto October's TBR or even further, but I put it on here just in case I get through all of those smaller books and still need something to read, which I know will take me a really long time to get through, but that is none other than Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. This book is over like 650 pages, so she a thickie. She gonna take me a while to get through, but I am looking forward to reading this. Not 100% sure what this book's about, but I wanted to pick up a bunch of thick books so that way I had something to read. I know it's a slow burn. She's famous for slow burns. So that's all I have for my September TBR. If you have read any of these books, just let me know in the comments below, or if you have something that you really want to see me read for October, let me know. What I'm thinking of doing is thrillers. So mystery, thriller, suspense, anything kind of spooky. I do have a big lineup already, and I'll share that with you at the end of September. But I mean, things might change. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of those books. Really just depends. I'll be in the middle of the semester and all that, but I really want to read some spooky books. So if you've got any spooky recommendations, put them in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Give me a like and make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications button. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.